we're back. It's now spring. I'm dressing like it's spring because we really want it to be spring. So
it's snowy.
I know a lot of you have been grilling all winter. We have too, just not filming. Been grilling at home a lot. We've been grilling here as we've been testing stuff and getting ideas for this next season. So we are going to start off with steak bites. One of those popular, or made popular maybe down south, and it's moved into the north. We all love steak, and steak bites are even better. We're going to be using blade roast today. So I've done it with blade steaks, I've done it with pork bellies, I've done it with blade roast. So we're using the Heathrow Isles cherry rub as our seasoning. So I've got a roast here. I'm just going to be cutting it into cubes. So it's basically, you can use a blade steak for this. It's nice using a meat that's got a little bit of marbling in it, and that's why the brisket is so popular, but it is also quite pricey. And I know some people have referred to this as a poor man's steak bites when they use this instead of brisket, but I like to think of it more as maybe economical, or maybe to be the Mennonite.
Inflation,
yeah. The Mennonite steak bite. I don't know. But inflation, yeah, definitely. We have blade roast and blade steaks on sale this week. The nice thing is you can see the marbling in there, and that's really what you want when you're doing steak bites.
it gets that squishy,
yeah,
mushy.
So we're gonna go about inch or so. There's no real hard and fast rule as to how big they should be. The nice thing is you want to kind of maybe pop them in your mouth size, eh? Mm-hmm. And they will shrink back a bit. So we're just going to cut them up, then we're going to season them. We're going to give them a nice covering here. We're going to flip them over a few times and make sure we get all the sides. Well, there's a nice smell coming off of them already. So we've got our pit boss going at 250. Just like I said, we're going to go about 2 hours. Then we're actually going to move them over into a deeper pan, and we're going to add some liquid to them and seal them up. And then let them go. Probably might take another couple hours, another 2 hours about. And even if you can even up the temperature then a bit. Whether we stay at 250 or we go to 275 or 300. Basically, you're kind of at that point you want to render them down.
Right. So what's the now, the reason people do the burnt ends or the steak bites with the brisket is because what?
The brisket, especially the brisket point, is the most popular piece.
Right. And to buy just the point,
you can't buy just the point.
Okay.
It all comes together. The brisket, the point and the flat.
What's the point of that? It's getting cheesy fast.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the point is there's a lot of nice marbling in there, and that's kind of what you want, eh?
Okay. So
and that's why we've chosen the blade today. Okay. To do that, because it kind of has similar marbling in it, eh?
Okay.
It is a little cheaper of a cut, but it's actually, if you do the blade right, it's a great roast, it's a great steak, and it turns out great as a steak bite.
Okay, so it's just a matter of breaking down
the
fat.
Yeah, it's just finding the right method for that type of meat.
Okay.
It's different than doing a tenderloin or a ribeye. The nice thing about these cuts that have that marbling in them is you get a really rich flavor on the beef. You get a real beefy flavor. I almost had a runaway. Okay, I think we've got a nice coat on them. So we're just gonna move over to the grill now.
Great.
And we're back, and it's been 2 hours, and we have got some really nice color on them.
Oh, they look amazing.
Yeah.
Smells good too.
Yeah,
so what are you
good.
expecting after this 2 hours? What are you looking?
A nice bark on them, a nice color. They'll be bubbling a little bit, but not, they're not going to be soft yet.
Okay. Hasn't rendered down yet?
No. We got the smoke on them, and so we're going to now take our Old West.
Oh yes, our favorite barbecue sauce
one of our top sellers.
Yes.
And I've got a bit of water here. I don't know, maybe I have a half a cup or so.
Wayne's getting a 4-hour workout. First taking all these little morsels off, and then
we're going to use this. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Now we're in business.
Okay, so just kind of however much you...
Yeah, it's not... kind of a half and half mixture even.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and then we're just going to drizzle it all over. And once it's done, we'll kind of take and mix them up again to kind of recoat them all. Perfect. The other thing you can do too, the nice thing is when you're doing these, you can play with your time and your temperature a little bit. You get a couple of hours of smoke. Some guys do 3 hours. I did 2 on this one. I also cut them a little bit smaller. I think next time I would cut them a little bigger. Okay. And then also your temperature, if you're putting it back on the grill, or let's say even taking it inside into the oven, like we were at 250, you could even go to 275 or 300, depending, let's say, on the time frame that you have. You know, you got guests coming or you want to serve them at a certain time. You can play with that temperature a little bit, speed it up a little bit. I wouldn't speed it up too much, but you could probably safely go to 300.
And how long are we on here now?
I'm going to check them in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And then we're looking for that nice squeeze.
Squishy squeeze. Okay,
so
sounds
we're back
good.
in a bit.
All right.
And we're back after, I think, almost 2 hours of going at 250. We're going to have a quick peek to see where they're at. We'll give them the squishy test.
The squishy test? Is that what they're called?
I think so. Okay, we got some good steam happening there. Okay.
Okay.
They look great.
Smells good. Okay, squishy test, Wayne. How is it? Are we ready?
Yeah, oh, look at that. They just kind of come apart. Okay, I gotta try this.
It's hot. Like, why does Wayne not learn?
Very good. I need to.
This smoke.
What I wanted to do first was I wanted to get the sauces.
Yes. All mixed up in there. Hey?
Yeah. So kind of recap what we did today. We took our beef blade roasts, which are on sale this week, along with the blade steaks, 20% off. We cubed it, seasoned it with the heat riles, cherry rub, and then we smoked it for 2 hours at 250. Okay. Then we took them off, put them into the pan, mixed kind of a half and half of the Old West barbecue sauce and water to get some moisture in there, and we sealed them up, put them back on for another almost 2 hours. And they are just fantastic little morsels of beef. And they have a great flavor. Once I mixed them up with the sauce, you get a nice glaze almost on them, and you could serve them, with a dipping sauce.
Well, these look amazing.
Even though they call them poor man's steak bites,
it feels pretty rich to you.
They're fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a very simple recipe.
Well, yeah, there was nothing to it. Like there
Yep.
was. Okay, so Wayne's just gonna eat this
Yeah.
pan again. He's gonna have dinner
But
here.
you can impress your friends with this one. This is a good one, and there's nothing wrong with using a blade steak or a blade roast instead of a brisket. You know, if
Okay.
you want to add a little bit of heat to your meat, hey, that rhymes. Some heat to your meat. The Heartbeat hot sauce. There's a number of varieties.
Yeah.
You add a bit of that to your barbecue sauce when you mix it in there.
Yep.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and that goes a long way. You don't need a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. No, you
It's
don't.
got huge
No.
flavor.
No,
so.
you'll definitely know if you put too much on that stuff. Yeah.
Great. So we're going to get these taste tested by a whole bunch of people here at work. Okay, thanks, Wayne. Until next time.
Keep grilling.